All right, here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app. Your home smart speaker up on TSN 4. Bryan Hayes, O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles McLennan. The Friday before the Super Bowl, I just saw my boy Al's brother, my partner. He walked in. We had a little kumbaya for a few minutes.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, that
Yes.
snake showed his face in there? He's been
yeah.
doing the cause show.
That's right. He's been doing gameplay for Maddie, and he was laying out bets. He was talking about all this different, tremendous information. And
What's
then,
he saying?
We'll tell you at 6 o'clock. I'm not going to say a peep because at 6 o'clock, we have reached the top of the mountain here. All right, Luke
Wow.
Wilson.
Are we in agreement that this is for the whole shooting match? Like whoever comes out on top is deemed the season champion. Agreed?
Well, okay, I will agree
We
with
should
that.
put a poll on that. We should have put a poll because who won the regular season, who won the playoffs, right? What is it?
Guys.
That's what I'm saying, Noodles.
I'm just saying there's different segments. One was 6 months long, close to it. We were victorious. You guys got hot for a couple weeks. It doesn't mean you're dominant. It doesn't mean
That's
you're
Sheldon
better.
Keefe talking to Paul Maurice.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of respect in the handshake line. That's what you are in the playoffs. You're respecting the handshake line guy. There's the O-Dog. Hey, they loved the action we brought in the playoffs was great. A lot of respect out there. That's you respecting the handshake line. But here's the thing. I will grant you that it's all a wash, and this is for all the marbles. If you
This
stop,
isn't the Stanley Cup playoffs. This is a dumb segment we do when we gamble.
I understand that, but that's
You
what I'm
guys
saying.
got hot for 2 weeks doesn't mean you're heroes. You're still zeros.
I understand.
I
that.
hate you guys. I hate Hazenbot.
Hazen Bro. Put some respect
No.
on the name. Put some
You
respect
guys talk
on the
about
handshake
me in the
line.
handshake line now?
Yeah, put some respect
guys
on the
are a
handshake
joke.
line. Fine, then I don't want to hear any garbage about how great you guys were during the regular season. That's what I'm saying. I'll wash the +4 and we'll go in clean, and this is for everything, but I don't want to hear, wow, we won the regular season. And
It's just, this is everything. It's
Everything's
the
on the
Super Bowl.
line. I love
I
it.
think what we did in the regular season and your little 10-day stint, we'll call it a wash. Okay?
Done.
That's not
Agreed.
a handshake line.
All right,
and whoever
fine.
wins the Super Bowl, you get bragging rights and you get to say whatever you want
I love
about
it.
O'Win Willson or Hazenbot.
I love it because you can either be an eagle or you can be a duck. And
That's
I
right.
intend on soaring like an eagle with my partsy.
You
and
know
you
what?
guys will be
You can be
quacking
an
all over
ant
Vegas.
or a termite.
No,
and
you-
termites stick around, and I guarantee you that Al's brother, he got on all fours and crawled out of there like an ant.
No, you always say the heart of a lion or the
heart of a moose.
A rat, don't you
Yeah,
say? Or a
Yeah.
rat.
Heart of a moose or heart of a rat, right before a big putt. And Hazy B has proven time and time again. And I'll tell you one thing about that guy that just walked out the door. I know he at least talked you into one dumb thing that you didn't want to do. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I could just tell by you laughing.
Yeah.
Because he told you some stupid information that you've never believed in before. And look at that stupid sign. And you're looking at him right now saying, that
Yeah.
guy did talk me into some garbage.
He's behind the glass right now. He's getting squirmy because
Why
we
doesn't he just
did-
get on a mic? Because I want to know
All right,
what he
come
talked
in here
to
for
you.
a second, Al's brother. Come in. Al's brother's coming in, my partsy. He's tanned. He looks lovely because he was cruising. He was selling cards down in St. Catharines.
Oh my
Everything's
God,
coming
this guy
together.
is just,
There he is, my partsy. All right, get the. Yeah. All right.
We're 4 minutes into the show.
And we're already off the rails, but that's the beauty of Mail It on Fridays, right? It's almost Super Bowl. We got to get the fourth camera up before we bring in Al's brother. But we had a lengthy conversation earlier, and Al's brother was just on the air for 2 hours, so he was preparing to be a professional broadcaster. But prior to that, we went through the gauntlet because we're going to have 12 different picks on the line today. Yet, because you guys won the regular season and you got immense respect in the handshake line, you guys get to pick the props you want to pick. So as a result, Al's brother and I are going in blind, which I think is a massive disadvantage. But because we are playoff performers and we are Eagles and we are Moose and we are termites, we will take it on. Right, Al's brother?
Oh, we're going to soar. Doesn't matter what you throw at us. We've been the underdogs the whole way, and we're going to soar just like the Eagles that we
right,
are.
Al's brother.
Al's brother,
Rise
I
from the
like this
ashes.
format because I can't see your face, but just let's keep this for. Don't even get his camera up. Did you talk Hayes into at least one thing that he did not want any part of? That's all I want to know.
That's
all.
That's an answer that only Hazy B can give you. I think there was a couple of things that it was like, I don't know how. And I'm like, well, I'm leaning this way. And he's like, all right, I could see it. All right. So,
When that guy, I've talked to Hayes probably, I'm telling you, but between Noodles and Hayes, I've talked to them more than anyone in my life. When Hayes says, I don't know, that means he hates it.
He hates you, yeah. And
He
if
hates
it goes
it.
south, he will hate your guts. Like this is
Yeah.
a big thing. This is big because if we are gonna, and I think we've agreed, because I want to be neutral on this. Have we agreed that we're just gonna, whoever wins this game, the props and all of this, is the champion,
Fine.
correct or not?
I'm good with
or is
that.
it like I'm fine. Like you guys can negotiate.
I'm fine with that. I do think if we're going to do that, I'm not sure it should be you guys getting to pick every prop you want to pick. Seems a little bit greasy, but we're Eagles, Al's brother, right? Like you said off the top, we're going to soar regardless. We are flying. We are lurking, and these guys are ducks, hanging, floating down the Don River right now. There's Al's brother.
there we go.
There it is, and yeah, we'll take it whichever way we have to. Right? We're prepared. We've been through the whole shooting match. We know exactly what we want to do.
I've spent hours on FanDuel just looking up all the bets. I've got at least 24, 28 bets that I've got already. It's where it's not even Sunday yet. I got a bet on a kicker, guys. Like I got kicker bets going right now. I swear to you, I do. I like the under 7.5 points on the kicker Moody.
Is that right?
Niners. I do.
Under
I
on Moody.
like it.
Okay.
I like the under on Moody. But look, this is like. I was going to say this is like the Super Bowl for me because that's an expression people use when things are really exciting. This is literally the Super Bowl. This is one of the greatest weekends that you could have from a gambling perspective, from a fun perspective, and obviously it's a great matchup between the Niners and the Chiefs.
Where's your head at as far as the matchup, Al's brother? I know you don't want to give away any tips or where your head's at, but just the overall matchup, do you have a lean right now or kind of where's your general headspace?
I gotta lean.
Go
right
ahead.
now.
You can say it to the world.
Look,
you can say it.
I think that as long there's realistically, I think the game has to break down into two different things. I think the Niners, in order for them to win this football game, they're going to have to effectively run the football and actually run the ball. I still, for the life of me, do not know why the Ravens only ran the ball 6 times in that game. The Chiefs do not have a good run defense. So you put that running game with Christian McCaffrey, who just won Offensive Player of the Year last night.
Yep.
You put that running game out there. They struggle against zone runs at that, and the Niners, that's exactly what they do.
Yeah.
If they can effectively run the football, control the clock, keep Mahomes off of the field, I think they got a good shot to do it. And then the other part that I look at this game, I think it's going to come down to is red zone efficiency. Red zone efficiency. And when you look, the San Francisco 49ers have the number 1 red zone offense in football. They converted on 66% of their trips into the red zone, 88% through the playoffs. Once they get inside that 20, they usually end up in the end zone. Not the case for the Kansas City Chiefs. So if the Niners can run the football well and keep the Chiefs to field goals instead of touchdowns, I kind of like what the Niners could do, but both of those things have to happen. Both of those things have to happen.
I've heard enough to just make me. It doesn't make me sick. It makes me laugh.
Well, this is. I will admit the conversation we had, and we went through every game. We're like, Al's brother.
Dude,
do you
I know
remember?
exactly what he did. He talked you into some nonsense.
No, listen, we'll talk about it at 6:00. But there was a Miami-Kansas City game about a month ago.
Similar.
Where we're like, yeah, that zone run. You're right. I do like Miami. And that went against us. And then we're like, the Ravens, man. You think
But again, they didn't run the football.
I know that.
For whatever reason.
We're on the same page here. All right, we're on the same page.
How does Lamar not win? Like, he wins the MVP, but not the Offensive Player of the Year. Isn't that kind of goofy, or that's just
It
the way
always works that way. It's like a quarterback rule. What I found interesting is people are freaking out that Lamar only got 49 of the 50 MVP, like first ballots for the MVP. Meanwhile, by week 15, no one knew who was going to win the MVP.
Yeah.
Like, it's not as if he put up historical, like, Brady in 07 type numbers where you're like, obviously this guy's the MVP. I believe he deserved it. I think at the end of the year, Lamar decided, okay, it's my award. I'm taking it. But as much as he took it, other guys faded. Like, Purdy and McCaffrey kind of faded. Purdy in particular against the Ravens. Tua,
another guy.
Hill got hurt. Dak completely fell apart down the stretch. Josh Allen had such an up and down year. He did drag his team into the 2 seed in the AFC. But so again, I appreciate that Lamar won it. I think if I had a vote, I would have made him number 1 on my ballot. But this idea that it had to be unanimous, like, am I missing something? This wasn't like Peyton Manning in his prime.
I don't think he was even favored until like week 15, 16.
Exactly.
Like, it wasn't until the final few weeks there. Really, I think it was when they beat the Niners is when people started to take Lamar Jackson for MVP seriously, because that's where, all right, Brock Purdy didn't get it done. He threw a bunch of picks, and it was like, okay, whoever wins this game is going to be the favorite to win, and it was obviously Lamar Jackson.
Well, and then the
A
next
lot of media hype, too. Like,
Exactly.
what game was it
narrative.
where he closed the deal? And, like, I remember Ryan Clark from ESPN tweeted out, and then everyone retweeted, it's over. And
The following week when they played Miami.
They played Miami and smoked Miami at home.
And he's like, it's over. And then everyone was tweeting on top of it. I'm like, there's your MVP, because that's the narrative, man.
And it ends up becoming, especially if votes are publicized, it's like this bullying thing. Like, I don't want to be the guy
don't be
that doesn't.
stupid, man. Everyone already said it's over. Don't go against the grain.
Which to me, that means why even have 50 voters? Like, why not just have one? Why not just have Ryan Clark, like, or whoever it's going to be, and just say you get to vote? Because what ends up happening, like, again, the one other player that got a first place vote was Josh Allen, and I think Lamar deserved it more than him. But I can reason with Allen, the amount of touchdowns he supplied that team, how they were 6-6 going into the bye week, and then he took them all the way to the 2 seed, and they won the AFC East. That was largely Allen. Yes, the Dallas game, he didn't do much. A couple other games where maybe he didn't put up massive numbers, but he was a beast. And it was a watered-down MVP season for the most part. So I can reason with Allen. Like, I don't think that's preposterous, yet it's like, how dare you? It had to be Lamar. And the groupthink stuff, it happens all the time with awards.
Well, I'm curious where you guys stand about the Joe Flacco getting the comeback player of the year over DeMar Hamlin. That was something else last night that got a lot of people going.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at two don't you think they're separate though? Like, one is a medical incident, the other one is an actual guy who came off his couch,
right?
Performance. So that's a fine line. I don't know how you judge that, because DeMar deserves all the love coming back, all of that. But I mean, Flacco comes off, like, literally comes off his couch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How do you guys?
I agree with you. Like, the Hamlin stuff was probably the moment of last season, like the most shocking moment, and it was a horrifying scenario, and it shocked the world. They had to cancel the game, and then the idea that he returned for camp and then gets back and plays, it
should be a slam dunk.
It's understandable, but to your point, like,
also Flacco played like 6 games.
Yeah, but he also, look what he did. He got them into the playoffs. Like, the Browns were cooked.
No kidding. What the hell's wrong with him? Comeback player of the year.
I don't disagree with it, because, like, Flacco was literally on his couch, and he's like, fine, I'll come in. This is like a movie. They're both kind of like movies.
Yeah,
but Hamlin, it was like you gave him.
Died on the field.
Yeah, well, okay. Then if that's the case, then why even have an award? Like, if it's just, if you return and you play again, it's yours. Or is there any discrepancy where you realize, okay, what this other guy did was also incredibly impressive, not to the same extent emotionally, not to the same extent in terms of perseverance, clearly. What DeMar Hamlin did, the fact that he had the courage to get back on the field is incredible. And if he had have won it, it would not have been a surprise at all. But I don't think, I guess what I'm saying is Flacco doesn't deserve shrapnel. Like, how dare you should give it to Hamlin, because all he did was say, Browns called me, I went out there, and I cooked. And that's what he did down the stretch. He was unreal until he got to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like that Houston game, it got ugly and quick. But he came out slinging it.
Oh, he was good for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns the last 6 weeks, every game.
It was an incredible story. All right, Alice, brother. We'll come flying in at 6 o'clock.
We'll reconvene
Hang on a
then.
sec. How was the cruise?
Oh, cruise was fantastic. It was good. I didn't get as much sun as I wanted to get. I spent a little too much time in the casino. So it's not as much color as maybe I was hoping to get.
Do you get the color, though, or do you get, like, just a beet red face?
No, I usually get a little bit of color. I'm Italian, so I get a little olivey.
Okay.
I can get some color, but no, it was a great time. The food's always good. Lots of drinks, lots of fun. I got to eat a Jamaican patty in Jamaica. That was kind of the one thing that I wanted to make sure I did. Got an authentic Jamaican patty.
Okay,
it's good.
All right.
Who has their checklist on vacation as patty in Jamaica?
I knew I was going. Jamaica was one of the destinations. I'm like, definitely got to get an authentic patty.
How was it? You into it or what?
Yeah, it was good. It was really, really solid. It was a good patty.
Is it like a burger?
Good
patty.
What
is it?
Have you never had Jamaican patty?
Oh yeah, patty's like I don't know how you would describe it.
It's like
a closed up taco, and
kind of
filled
exactly
with meats and
spices.
I feel like they sell them in Turks and Caicos. I feel like I might have had one.
Patties are. They used to have the
everywhere.
best patties in the cities. Used to be at Eglinton Station.
The subways. Everyone talks about the subway
all over
patties.
TTC.
All I could think of is wasn't Rob Ford at a late night thing?
Yeah, he was. Well, no. He was at the Steak Shack or something, but he was speaking Jamaican patois, which was
not patty.
No,
patois.
it wasn't.
Okay.
He was speaking patois, which was remarkably offensive and offside at 2:30 in the morning, waiting for his burger to show up.
Oh man,
that's one of the all-time videos. Like the Rob Ford, putting together a top 3, I think would be the toughest thing I could ever do.
No, the Jamaican patty patois was not number 1. We know what number 1 was.
There was some others,
the original. But I would say him running into the camera at City Hall, him
backing up at QB and falling on his ass was a good one.
That was
a 5-step drop at City Hall playing football, and he blows a wheel. Him on the Gardner reading an email. That one might crack the top 3. It's not easy to do.
It is what it is. But that's all I thought of when you said a Jamaican patty, because I don't know. I know I've had one because I think in Turks and Caicos they have them.
They're all over the place, man. Like JP said, Kensington Market, they're great there.
Yeah.
I remember Eglinton Station. It would just be like people would be lining up for patties.
Yeah, Bathurst got a pretty good one too. When I used to roll up here, I used to have to go through Bathurst, and they got a pretty decent patty there as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you've hit a patty at Bathurst and in Jamaica.
And in Jamaica.
All
yes.
right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Al's brother, we'll catch you at 6 o'clock.
Sounds good, boys.
There's my part C. Al's brother. Nice to see you as always. We will be soaring later as Eagles as we get to our picks a little bit later on. We're going to head down to Vegas in like 20 minutes, catch up with James Duthie, get JD's take on. I've seen conflicting stories on Vegas as a host. Like I've seen, some people basically tweeting out like it's too much. You're asking too much of people.
Why?
With the parties and with it's a gong show on the strip.
It's over the top. I think it's over the top. That's what people are saying. It's just over it's too much.
Yeah.
There's some people that do stuff like we do and podcasts and stuff. I mean, we heard Ross Tucker saying he's going to Radio Row at 3:45 in the morning.
Right.
It seems like people are kind of half hitting it hard and half working 24/7.
Mm-hmm. Well,
which
that's
is insane.
It is. It's a balance, obviously, but it is. There's a lot of work to be done down there, clearly. So JD will join us, and we'll get his take on. I don't think he got to the Oilers game the other night. I know Kara was there. Kara Wagland was in the building.
I saw her tweet that out, or whatever.
She was there, and the Oilers are back in action in Anaheim tonight. And you got a scenario here where I would say if the this is how quickly it can change. We talked about that streak basically every day for about 3 weeks.
Deservedly so.
Absolutely deservedly so. And even throughout the All-Star break and then coming out of the break, and that game in Vegas was so anticipated. And then they lose, and it's just like, okay, it's over. But if they were going for the record tonight, this would be such a massively talked about and buzzworthy game.
Yeah, it'd be a kind of must watch, right?
Absolutely, it would be.
But
now it just reverts back to, it's Anaheim at 10:30.
Yeah, horse-eye, and they should win it, right? Like
they
should win that. They've got LA tomorrow. It's a back-to-back situation. So, and LA coming off the break. So, LA coaching change,
coach.
like lots of moving parts there. But, back at it, it's weird because trying to track like who's had breaks, who's not. You're like, okay, that team hasn't played in a bit. Oh yeah, they're on their break, their bye week after the break. So I just want everybody to be playing nightly because it's tough to catch up now. Games in hand, teams are getting games in hand again and all that. So, listen, after this weekend, everybody will be playing. Put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. You get through this weekend, and then the dust settles on the Super Bowl, and at that point, you're talking pitchers and catchers starting to arrive real soon. I think next week they arrive, and spring training will be rocking. I saw someone post a picture, another gym picture of Vladdy Guerrero, and he looks great. Vladdy with his new deal, he's won an arbitration case, and he's hitting the gym. He's pumping iron. He looks outstanding. I can't wait to see that. I want to see Vladdy and Alek Manoah. Like, what are we looking at when these guys walk into camp? Like, are they just going to be shredded? Is it going to be a catfishing situation where it's just
throw
great
the catcher
filters?
in there too.
Alejandro Kirk. Look at that pick of Vladdy, man. He looks he looks like he's in a good place.
Well,
but he's supposed to look like that.
I understand
we talk about
that,
it all the time. We know what's been acceptable in the past. It's just maybe the organization has said to him, to Manoah, and to Alejandro Kirk, guys, you gave it a shot doing what you do and said you were going to do it your way. Now the only way to play Toronto Blue Jays baseball is be the best conditioned athlete possible. Non-negotiable, and if you don't show up like that, we're going to figure out what to do with you because that's just what's happening. And that's what should have happened at the very beginning.
I agree.
I don't disagree with that. These guys, you shouldn't get a gold star because you actually are a pro athlete and show up in shape. But
and I'm not talking like I'm Gary Roberts, but I understand what works and what doesn't work.
Right, but there has been change. That's the whole point. Like
let's not we joke about it, but like when you played, you weren't 20 pounds overweight. Like you were in shape and you worked hard and you came to play. Like that, you weren't a guy that people walked out there like that guy's got an extra 20 on. That wasn't the case. Like you can see some of these guys and you're like, that guy's carrying 20 pounds too much.
Oh, I can see. I can see it when baseball players walk up to the plate. Like their uniforms are tight. It's like, what's going on there. Yeah. Alejandro Kirk rounding second a couple times last year or rounding first to try to get to second. You're like, that guy's getting thrown out.
Yeah.
Dude, he had some outrageous throwouts at second last year.
Well, that's catchers, man. Like the Molina brothers.
I don't care.
I understand that, but like the bad knees, watching Benji Molina round first or second or third was wild. You talk about videos. How about Bartolo Colon? I saw actually a clip recently.
The helmet coming off?
Yeah, he admitted that he wore a helmet that was too big because he knew the fans loved when it would fall off his head.
There was a stat,
That's a man of the people, Bartolo
Dude, I think
Colon.
he's still pitching somewhere.
Yeah,
he signed somewhere recently.
He is. He's in like the Mexican League with Jake Taylor.
Didn't it say that the stat on Bartolo Colon's hitting, that his helmet came off like 68% of the, like it was something ridiculous out of his, 200 at bats or whatever it was, 500 at bats. Like his helmet came off like 70% of the time, which is
so what? He hit a bomb in San Diego. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
A bomb.
Yeah.
Short porch. He just got over it, but it counts. And you're right. He'd swing. He'd do the like loop-de-loop. He'd do a 360. His helmet would be on backwards.
Yeah.
Like this is Major League Baseball.
I love it.
Like what would Sheldon Keefe say about this? Major League Baseball. This is Major League Baseball. All right, down to Vegas to catch up with JD to set the scene on Super Bowl 58. We'll get his take on all that, including, again, Oilers in action tonight. The Leafs are on the road. They're in Ottawa tomorrow. Start looking ahead to that. And Fred VanVleet is back, but he's hurt. He won't be playing. So Fred will be in town. I'm sure he'll get the full video montage, as you would expect, but Fred will not be playing tonight for the Rockets. So more on that still to come later this afternoon. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 4. OverDrive continues, brought to you by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line of the final score. A couple days away from Super Bowl 58. You can watch it on TSN, CTV. You can hear it all weekend, hear the coverage. It'll be awesome. And you got Niners, you got Chiefs, you got the Leafs in action tomorrow. You got Fred VanVleet back home tonight. Houston against the Raptors down at Scotiabank. Nick Taylor shoots a 60 in the opening round at the Waste Management. We love seeing that. Nick's currently got a one-shot lead.
Does that get a DM tonight?
I might send him a DM. I might just say, hey, keep shooting, pal. If you need any tips, I'm always here.
Stay active.
Stay active. Absolutely. Let's head down to Vegas. Here's our main man, James Duthie. JD, how we feeling down there?
Spectacular, gentlemen. Niners are in the Super Bowl. You're in Las Vegas. I'm on the most popular television/radio program in the nation. What could be better?
Wow. How was the Sphere, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh, so good. You know what? I think I said this on Jay's show last night, but I wasn't gonna go. Tickets were like $500 US kind of thing. And then I got in an elevator with this girl from England, and we're just chatting. And I said, "What are you here for?" And she said, "I've come to see you two at the Sphere. I saved up for 6 months to come see it." And I said, "Man, this girl came all the way from England. Like, people are coming around the world just for this. And I'm here anyway covering it, so I better go." So I sucked it up, and I'm a U2 fan. I'm not a U2 super fan. Like, I've seen them a couple of times in my life, but man, the Sphere is the show. And it was really, really nuts, like extremely cool.
It's ridiculous. When it first starts, and then at the end when that thing comes out of the water and kind of swallows you up. But I thought to myself, James, like, I had a few drinks that night, I was enjoying myself, but like, there's so much going on that if you like did gummies or something like that, like if you were
all-star Buble, you'd be in trouble.
You would be in massive trouble if somebody, what is it called, microdosing? If somebody dosed you, you would be in trouble, because it is so much action going on that it's like overwhelming. But it is an unbelievable setup, isn't it?
There's a scene in that old Judd Apatow movie, This Is 40, with Paul Rudd and Seth Rogen, and they take, I think, shrooms, and they go see Cirque du Soleil in Vegas. And I think there's a line where Rogen yelled at one point, "The shrooms are turning on me." You remember that?
Yes.
That's what I think would happen in the Sphere. I was stone sober, and I was cool enough as it was, so I can't even imagine the other way. Not you want to get into detail on this. The only criticism I would make is there's like a 45-minute set in the middle by U2 where they don't really use the Sphere.
Yeah.
Right? They cut it down, and that's probably Bono saying it's supposed to be about the music. You know what I mean? But whoever the next band in there is, like, use the thing for the whole time, because that's the show.
Absolutely. Well, like you said, I mean, we're creeping closer to the game. Your Niners are in the game again against the Chiefs. And we've had these conversations all week, up here. Like, why is this line not moving a little bit? Because it's Niners minus 2.5. It basically has been since, the end of the AFC Championship game a couple of weeks ago. Yet everyone seems to be on the Chiefs. Everyone seems to be thinking Mahomes and Reed will find a way to win this ball game. Is that the sentiment in Vegas?
100%. And it really is the one, as a Niners fan, if I take off my neutral TSN cap, it's the one thing that gives me hope in a way, because I can remember last year the spread was, I think it was Philly by maybe 1.5 or something. And if you looked at that game, like, the Eagles looked so good going in. And I remember all of us, I'm not going to loop in, I think Davis might have picked the Chiefs, but I was thinking the Eagles were going to win by 10, and I couldn't understand why the line wasn't like 5.5, 6. Those guys who make the lines are really good at it. And the fact that all the experts on TSN or ESPN or the NFL Network are mostly picking the Chiefs, but the line doesn't move, those guys are good at what they do. And that buoys me that they're seeing something that we're not, because I've watched every down of the Niners all season long. Like everybody else, I watched how vulnerable and awful they looked, frankly, on D for most of the last 2 playoff games, and for KC to go on the road and win the way they did, and for that experience, I can't believe that they're not 2.5-point favorites or 2-point favorites. But who knows, man? Maybe there's some little X factor in there. At the Niners. I'm one of those. As a fan, I'm kind of like a negative fan who always expects the worst. I'm a miserable guy to watch a game with when it's a team involved. And so I always look at the Niners do have a ton of talent, right? Mm-hmm. Both sides of the ball. So I'm not going to be surprised at all if the Niners win, but I am surprised that the Chiefs aren't favored by a little bit here.
Well, in terms of covering the Super Bowl, you've covered many of them over the years, and I remember by about 2012, 2013, and certainly by 2017, 2018, 2019, people were done with the pads. It was stale. No one wanted to see him there. They're like, we got to do 2 weeks of Belichick pretending like he's not paying attention. Are you sensing the same thing with the Chiefs? Like, you've covered them multiple times now in the Super Bowl. Is there Chiefs fatigue in terms of covering them and trying to break down who they are, what they're going to bring this weekend? And would you compare it at all to what the Patriots eventually represented at the Super Bowl?
There's not with me, and I definitely had Patriots fatigue. I think I did 8 of their Super Bowls. But I think a lot of that had to do with, covering the Belichick news conferences every day and just going through that whole song and dance of getting nothing. Whereas I don't feel that with the Chiefs at all. I mean, I think what does it say about where we are if we're sick of that already? Mm-hmm. I mean, they're pretty much decent guys, it seems like. Maybe it's the whole thing going around it. Maybe they're sick of, seeing not only Taylor but Mahomes' wife and Mahomes' brother and all that stuff that goes with the Chiefs. But I don't know. Like, I just think it's more the state of our world where we get sick of things so fast and we want to move on to the next thing so quickly that 4 straight years or whatever it is for them is just, people are, people wanted the Ravens, maybe people wanted the Lions in there. And so it bothers me a lot, frankly, because I think you got to appreciate how hard it is to get here. And especially this year for those guys, when this was kind of supposed to be not a write-off season for the Chiefs, but if you went back to the beginning of the season, this was a little bit of a retool season for them, right? I don't think they were expected to get here. Halfway through the season, they didn't look like they had a chance. Even going to the playoffs, they didn't. So I think in some ways, if they are able to win, this will be their greatest Super Bowl victory of them all. It's the hardest path, I think. The analytics people say that if they win the Super Bowl, it will be the hardest path anyone's ever had to winning a Super Bowl. So I think that's ludicrous. And check yourself as a fan if you're really sick of the Chiefs. But it would be nice for the Niners to win, though, wouldn't it?
Jimmy, how much do you think Niner Nation is just racking their brain, wondering what Brock Purdy is going to bring to the table on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's the same. To me, I was that way. Look, the fan side of me, halfway through that Packers game, was like, I was that awful fan who's like, we got to get a new quarterback next year, right?
Brady, you wanted Brady halfway through the game.
Yeah, but the second half of the Lions game, I think just quieted a lot of those for me because he basically won the game for them, I think. And I think he'll be fine. I don't know if he'll be great, but I think he'll be fine in this game because it's been 2 years now. And, besides that one Baltimore game this year where he got rattled early and they played great, he was awful. He's pretty much passed every single test. So I'm sure there is concern because the Super Bowl is different. No matter how calm and cool you might look during the regular season, you never know how a guy's going to react. So I don't think he will lose the game for the Niners, put it that way.
James, how much eyes will be on Taylor Swift from your guys' vantage point? I mean, are you guys going to plan some sort of retort around it? Is it going to be part of, your panels and all of that? Obviously, the game is the focus point, but Taylor Swift, all eyes are going to be on it. We have prop bets. Like, I think she's going to be showed north of 10 times on the broadcast. Like, where are you guys at?
Yeah, I have no problem with it. I know Luke is kind of sick of it, and obviously I've heard all those voices that are, which I think is dumb. Now, granted, full disclosure, I'm a massive Swiftie. Like, if you guys had video of over the holidays when my daughters were home and we rented the movie, and I basically sang the entire. I could do the entire 10-minute version of All Too Well right now on this program without missing a lyric. Wow. I'm a diehard Swiftie, so I'm excited about it. And the other thing is, we're on the field after the game. Obviously, I want the Niners to win, but if the Chiefs win, Tay-Tay is going to be on the field after the game.
Do you think she would know who you are? Like, you know how she had the back and forth with Romo? Will she say, no, Duthie, you're good at what you do too?
No, I don't think that would happen, Jeff. But I actually was, Jesse's not going to be here this year, Jesse Palmer, who I'm usually on the field with after the game. And Jesse just had a baby. And I'm a little upset about that, not him having a baby. That's great, but not being there because I think, maybe Taylor's a Bachelor fan. So maybe if she made eye contact with Jesse, she'd come over and have a chat with him. And then she'd notice me and obviously.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a question here. You could have an exclusive. TSN gets it. The Super Bowl MVP up on it's like, hey, whoever's doing it, Jim Nance, move. You're out. Romo, you're out. Dan Patrick, whoever it is. James Duthie, TSN, you get it. Let's say it's Brock Purdy. The Niners win and it's Brock Purdy. You can have that exclusive, or you can have a 30-second exclusive with Taylor Swift. Which one are you choosing?
Taylor.
You're doing Taylor Swift.
Wow. 30 seconds?
30 seconds is basically a high and by.
I become an instant worldwide icon on a scale that you haven't seen before.
Okay. Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
For the rest of my life, look at guys. I spent, we were talking about the monkey last week on the show where you guys were.
Yes.
You don't know how miserable my life has been. I spent 10 years walking around where people yelled at me, "Hey, it's the monkey dude! Hey, hey, buddy!"
Hey, buddy.
Have you spanked your monkey today? That's stupid. That's what people yelled at me on the street.
Way.
And now I would be, hey, it's the Taylor Swift guy.
Right.
That's what I would be for the next 20 years. That's okay.
Yeah, that is a big reversal, man. That really is a big reversal.
The monkey.
The monkey guy.
I was the monkey guy for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's ludicrous. And now I'm just like, oh, you're the guy, the guy who talks to O-Dog on the panel.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get that.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man.
I haven't got a Hayes as a fraud yet. I got one at the airport.
Okay.
When I was waiting for my bags. One Hayes is a fraud on the flight from Toronto.
Well,
not
it's gotten
get
out of control.
Dude, we got to stop it. Because I got it today. I was out today. I went into a store and some guy goes, "Hey, Hayes, you're a fraud, man. That's awesome."
Can you imagine if, like, in the Super Bowl, like, there's one of those planes that drives by with the banners behind?
Yeah.
Oh,
and it says,
I could see it. I could see
fraud.
lunatics getting a GoFundMe over the Sphere in Vegas, paying out the Sphere. Hayes is
guys,
a fraud.
Do we have a couple minutes here? I don't want to get away from the Super Bowl talk, but I have to ask you something. And I don't know if I think I might have tweeted this or whatever the other day, but 4 years ago, I checked into my hotel in Miami when the last time the Chiefs and the Niners were in the Super Bowl. It was early in the morning. I'd had like a long night, and I went into my room, and there was a naked guy in my bed. and so the deal was they gave me like a key to a room that was already occupied, right? So one of the weirdest situations. I like ran out of that room so fast. So I check in on late Monday night here. There's no naked guy in my bed, but the bathtub is full.
Of what?
So somebody's either had a bath, the last person in here, and left, and the cleaning staff missed it, or what? What happened?
Yeah, that's a tough call, man. That's
it's another room. You got to get another room.
Check to see if it's acid.
It was 2:30 in the morning. I had to reach down and unplug it.
Well, but why are you taking? You're going to take a tub? Like, why can't you just jump in the shower? I would leave it there for a week.
I have a shower.
Okay.
It's a nice room we have here. We're a little off the strip. Okay, I'm not in the Cosmo or anything, but I have like a kind of a suite, so it has a shower and a tub next to the bed. But the tub was completely full.
You're lucky.
If you pulled the plug and you came up and there was all hairs all over I'd cut my arm right off my body.
See, I was thinking,
my arm straight.
I'm going even like, you watch the first 48 and all those shows. Like that tub could have been full of acid. There could have been a body that was dissolved in there. You never know if you're off the strip in Vegas.
No
So
kidding.
you better watch yourself. You put your arm in there, the arm might not come off.
I think that if a body was dissolved a la Breaking Bad in my tub, that it wouldn't look like normal water. Probably.
I know. I'm just being ridiculous. But you never know. The scary part is every time I walk into a hotel room, and believe me, I spend 120 nights a year in a hotel. You can envision the guy before you, or the person, or the couple, or what they've been doing in that room 24 hours prior.
Why even go there, though? Like, why even think like that?
Because think of how, people get comfortable, so you're sitting, I always, if I'm sitting on a chair or something in a hotel room, I put a towel down, because I guarantee you there's been somebody bare-ass naked sitting in that chair, maybe 12 to 24 hours before that.
Okay.
And I don't think the maid or whoever's gone in there has hosed that thing down.
Well,
Wait a
probably
second.
not.
You're telling me, do you put on one of your, like, you put on the hotel robe and just leave it on?
I would never put one of those hotel robes. Gino Retta has a story about when he checked in, he went to put on the robe. There was a streak, we'll just call it a parting gift on the inside of the robe. Like, you don't put the robes on.
Is a 5-minute major.
Yeah,
5-minute major.
Yeah.
And you're out of the game and a gross
at 2:30
misconduct.
in the morning, you guys are exhausted. You're going to go back down and get a new room.
Absolutely.
No,
I'm
just
not
go to
doing that.
sleep. Just go and jump into bed and go to sleep.
I'm not going to be in the bathtub
Yeah,
at
I
any
wasn't going
point.
to take a bath anyway.
Yeah, that's the point. I think you could live with it. It's like whatever.
You know who's a bath guy? Darren Drager.
Come on,
Really?
He on the road takes baths regularly.
that's
I believe.
wild to me. I haven't had a
thing to say.
I
on
haven't
this
had a
show.
Big bath guy.
yeah. Being a bath guy, that's worse than being the monkey guy.
Yeah, that
or
might
a
be
fraud.
fighting words. Like, Drager might actually drive down to Vegas and attack you because.
Well, I might be wrong, because I'm sometimes
No.
wrong. Like maybe it's LeBrun, but I'm pretty sure one of the insiders is a bath guy, and I'm pretty sure it's Darren Drager.
That's
The
a
only
lifestyle.
time you need a bath is if you blow your back out.
Exactly.
And you got to heat it up a little bit.
Exactly.
That's it.
That's the only, I have in the last 30 years. The only time I've done that is when it's like I need like salts in there. My back's been blown out. That's it. I'm too big for a bath. I get it. I'm too tall. I look like an idiot. It
Well,
doesn't.
it's also and even some people say, well, there's the romance, bubble baths with your
No.
significant other, but that's never appealed to me.
Yeah.
You're in there and you're wet and droopy and shriveled.
All right.
Yeah, that's not good.
Let me ask you one quick question here. As a journalist down there, because Liv is in Vegas, are they picking up any buzz? Like, is anyone saying, hey, did you know that Liv was here?
Zero.
Zero.
And,
Okay.
and frankly, if it was outside my hotel, I wouldn't go down and watch. I
The
love
follow-up is, why would they play this weekend there? Like, are they
Yeah.
crazy?
Well, they're trying to pick up on the Super Bowl buzz, I guess, but it's not working.
Yeah, I don't know what their scheduled deal is. Waste Management, which is one of the more popular events on tour, is happening too. So that was just a dumb move all around. And I have no qualms with the Roms and stuff taking their money, but it almost doesn't matter to me unless the entire tour folds and it becomes Live. That's probably the only way I'll watch, because did John Rahm make you guys want to watch Live anymore?
No.
No.
Yeah, no. I saw him hit his first tee shot online, and that was about it.
I'm taking watching Nick Taylor fire a 60 in the Waste Management any freaking day. So
I agree.
I've not literally heard one person mention Live. I saw Bubba. I went to the Vegas Oilers game the other night, and Bubba Watson was doing that thing they do, the hype up the crowd.
Horn, the horn or whatever it
the
is.
horn
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So Bubba Watson was there with his team, the Cliques or whatever the heck. I don't even know what team it is. I couldn't name one team in the in Live Golf, but that's the only thing I've heard about them this week.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there, JD. And enjoy the amenities in Vegas, and good luck getting to the game and seeing Taylor and everything that comes with it. And we'll do it again soon.
I don't know if Brock Purdy was MVP. I'm being a lifelong Niners guy. I may have to rethink that. Right? That's a tough one.
That's
my
a tough
daughters
one.
would kill me if I didn't take the interview with Tay.
I know. 30 seconds, a quick hello. You got one question with Taylor Swift, or like a 5-minute full breakdown. Brock Purdy's crying. It's tough.
I will say this. Usually at the end of the game, I have to run down. I know you got to go. And always the families run by me because they're allowed on the field about 2 minutes before me. So always, Brittany, Mahomes, and they all run right past me. So if there's any interaction with Taylor, if we have a fleeting moment, even eye contact, I'll let you guys know about it next
Thank you.
week.
We look forward to that. Thank you, JD.
Bye, guys.
James Duthie. A lot to unpack there.
A lot.
Traeger being a tub guy on the road. That's
tough.
wild.
It's wild
'Cause
stuff.
you're basically you're making your own soup. Like, you're just laying there in your own soup. Like, I don't know. It's not my thing.
That's like you run the bath and let it, and it takes like 40 minutes. like one of those massive bathtubs.
I had a bad back, and there's another reason I had to get to the gym. You hop in it, and all of a sudden, 3/4 of it's on the floor in the bathroom. You're like, it's time.
It's a tough. That's
Dude,
really
it's a tidal wave in there, and you're like, half of the tub is empty now.
Dude, I'm the same way. I'm 6'2". I'm too tall. I can't move. My back hurts even more because I'm trying to, but anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, Mike Johnson coming up in about 15 minutes. Picks still to come at 6 o'clock. Luke Wilson, Al's brother. This is it. The top of the mountain. Hazenbro versus Team O'Win Willson. Respect in the handshake line. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on the TSN app. There it is. That's Duthie's favorite Taylor Swift song. And Super Bowl rapidly approaching down in Vegas. We got the Waste Management in Arizona. You got the Raptors in action. No Van Vliet tonight, which sucks, and he is worthy of a video montage, right?
Yeah.
Like Fred Van Vliet is 100% worthy of that. But there have been examples in the NHL and in the NBA recently.
Dude, it's gotten out of hand, man.
It's wild.
It is.
Really
And I know we joke
wild.
about me not getting one in Carolina. I deserve one in Carolina. I played 10 years there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some goofy ones where it's like, if you only had a cup of coffee, it's not necessary.
No.
Like, you're just goofing on the person to begin with.
Right.
Yeah, well, I think the Jonathan Quick one was funny. Like with the Columbus Blue Jackets, they did one for him. He got traded there as a three-way trade. But the other ones, that guy played 23 games. Then move on.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to.
The player doesn't even want that.
No.
Like, why would you even
I don't
want to be
think they want it
acknowledged?
even if you played there for 2 years.
Yeah, there's probably a line. Yeah, but exactly. If you've been there for a handful of years, you were a winner, you were a star. Like, that's all kind of stuff that should lead to that. All right, Mike Johnson on the Leafs in Ottawa tomorrow night. Overdrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.